Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with the Q&A for episode 6 of Critical Role's Watch Along for The Legend of Vox Machina. Oh my god, I feel like that was the longest route I ever took to say that. I feel like I added so many extra words that I don't even know what I said. But I think it made sense, and we'll find out in the edit. If it doesn't make sense, you'll never know. But if it went in one steady flow, then you probably saw me get it accurately. Last we saw, we got the longest Q&A of any of the 6 episodes. We end up finding out it's because they had a problem with the teleprompter and they had to wait till it was okay. But hey, we got more Q&As about episode 5, which was a major episode. It was the Sun Tree episode that had a huge impact, even though the next one, to me, even though I didn't think they could trump that one, bodies hanging from a tree that look like them, that were put there as a message. I even think I said it in the reactions, how I'm like, I don't know if they're going to be able to beat episode 5 with episode 6, and I don't know if they want to, but I feel like the final of the trio each week has to be the big bomb drop cliffhanger, and I feel like they accomplished it. Even though the Sun Tree was a huge deal, finding out that Cassandra's still alive and then having the Briarwoods, basically, she's either being brainwashed or she was told things that weren't true. I've seen that done in movies and TV a million times where you just lie like your family was horrible, they abandoned you, and we had to kill them all, or they all ran away and blah, blah, blah. I don't know what they told this girl, or she's just brainwashed. Either way, let's find out. We're going to see them react to it, and maybe they'll give us some clues or some hints. I don't know if I want to know, but I kind of want to know. So let's jump in. You guys want to see more of what I do, full-on edited reactions, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, and hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link's at the end. If not, this is episode 5, Q&A from Critical Role for The Legend of Vox Machina. Spark of Rebellion.
I mean, that's a good cliffhanger.
That is a good cliffhanger. I just said it. I said it the same thing. That is sad.
That's sad.
I mean, it's also awesome
I don't
that she's
wanna live
alive.
there, actually.
I'll tell you,
I don't wanna
it's
live there,
very
actually.
nice. There's a lot. There's.
I also
very
didn't
good,
realize my
market
cat is
for
still
beautiful
sleeping in this
trees.
pod. My
And,
fat cat,
property
Sammy,
is very
has
inexpensive.
been there for like 2 hours,
You know, I
unmoved.
would say that a pile of rubble would be very inexpensive, but, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe
you
not
know?
2 hours, like at
Maybe,
least an hour plus,
once
because
it's
I
fixed
edited
up
a video.
A little bit.
Yeah,
I'll come with that, but
I mean, you know, it's
I don't
gotta
know.
get in before the gentrification.
You know what? That's fair. I will take. Is there any waterfront property?
No, there is actually there is actually some ocean, but it's a bit of a hike actually.
Oh.
I believe.
I'll take some tree front.
What is in his
Yeah,
cup?
yeah,
What is he?
yeah, that's
What is he jingling around in
Tree
there?
front
Is there
property
ice in
and the
there?
ground floor, you know,
I
once the tree comes
want
back
ice
to life,
and
everything will be fine.
beverages.
You know,
Sure.
get some greenery in
Is it
there.
gonna come back to life though?
I don't know.
Like it's all. In
I don't
the
have a
new
beverage
app.
for
The
this
tree
one.
can
I
go
drank
out
beer
there.
all day, and I was like, I gotta go to
See, now
sleep
that's
soon.
Easy
have no beer
transportation.
left.
I'll take a house. You've convinced me.
That can do it.
I'll also take a house.
You
If we're
sold
just
me.
Giving a house, yeah.
Yeah, we're just giving out houses.
Very
I
nice
honestly
bakery.
didn't get more beer
Does it
because
come
I
with
got
CG horses?
Vox Machina tomorrow.
No, sadly,
I wanna be
no horses. They were just too
alert.
expensive.
It's a very safe city.
Yes.
Very safe city where nothing bad ever happens.
Ever, nothing bad ever happens.
Everything's fine.
We still haven't gotten a
I
question
can
yet.
tell by
They're all just
everything burned to the
talking
ground.
to each other.
Everything is fine. Well, are you guys ready for our last round of questions of the night?
Final
Please.
No.
Please, Mika Burton.
All right, question for the man of the evening.
It reminds me of Misha Barton
Percy
when I
of
hear
the
her name.
evening.
Jafe,
Misha
Talus
Barton.
and Jafe.
Taliesin Jafe.
Tal'dorei and Jafe. Who's this
Taliesin
person?
Jafe.
Absolutely ridiculous. My God.
For the folks at home who are just getting
Is it
into
really
Vox Machina,
Jafe?
It is obvious that season 1 leans into Percy's backstory.
Guys, is his name
Fair
Jafe
enough.
or Jaffe? Because
Talk
I've been
us
saying
through what it
Jaffe,
was like having
and now I
Percy
feel
be a
horrible
focal
if I'm
point
wrong.
For this first season.
Well, God, now I have to stop doing the accent because I'm gonna fuck it up.
I mean, you
Too
don't
late.
have
I'm
to.
already-
I heard the question. Percy is the focal point
Yeah,
of the season, apparently,
It was
appears so.
disconcerting even the first time we did it in the campaign. Wow, this takes me back. I'm not entirely sure why Matt decided that I was going to be the first, but he dragged us through that horror state, and now having the opportunity, there we are.
I was like, he's going in and out of voices.
Percy.
It is. It's one of
Percy's
those
just
things.
coming
He's
out.
going in and out of voices, and I don't even
Knows
think he
from
realizes it.
It's fascinating considering that like the story of this character was originally just something I'd just written up before I'd even played the game, put it aside, and then was like, oh, this will be a fun backstory. I've always wanted to play with this ridiculousness, and then, well, now we are designing the White Stone Keep, and I'm going, oh, there's a little garden back there, and this is the market district, and oh wow, the tree is really big. Oh no.
I mean, that is weird, seeing the
He
world
put those
being
amazing
built
things
around
on the top of
you.
the spires. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Look at that.
Oh, there's
That's
White
amazing.
Stone.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
love the
Yeah.
world
That was
stuff.
another early shot that we got at the beginning of it all.
Oh my
Yeah, the
God, there's so many
considerations.
options.
We just stared at, dumbfounded.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the fourth one. The fourth one was I like that
I
extravagant
have so much
shit
ridiculous
going on.
history written about this place, and it's just so strange to see it function. This.
Of course you learned.
That's so cool. It's literal blueprints of fictional castles.
It's just so
Yeah.
beautiful.
There's a very
We
nice
know.
library on one of the upper floors.
know it's
We're
true.
talking about library. I'm like,
Like, talk
we need to
about
figure out where it's gonna be. and
visualizing
stuff.
your
Yeah,
environment.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh.
but we know where it is.
yeah, we know where it is. Yeah.
You never know. It could come up.
And there's a little secret hatch, and there's a whole thing. It's great.
Oh, I love that. I mean, like you were saying earlier, all of you have been talking about it. These are characters that you dreamt up years and years ago. Who would have ever thought that there it is in a show, animated, all of your thoughts and dreams and ideas manifested, not just at a
Very
table, but like
Strange.
outside of your own body.
Yeah.
Is that wild?
It is very, very weird.
I mean, that is
Weird.
what
It's so
being an artist
incredibly
is. You create something and then it all comes on paper and in
that, you know,
film and stuff
as
like that.
we're
But
even just like
having
developing
watched it
the
from
stories,
birth is what is happening here,
and
basically.
writing the scripts, like
For most
it
of you,
feels so
I'm
personal.
late to the game.
Seeing the lines on the page, and you want the characters to be showcased in the correct way because it feels like your heart is on that page, right? I don't know.
I'll admit, I'm still a little nervous about the episodes to come of just how people are going to react to the inevitable end of this particular chunk of the
Yeah.
story, and what people are going to think when they finally get to see where it's all headed.
Oh my God, I'm almost like worried. Not that, I mean, obviously it's going to be epic because people would have
Early, it was just
not
word
jumped on
pages,
board.
And then we had that first table read. I could just see everyone.
Yeah.
Is it going to get like weird? Like, I'm so curious how it
You
ends.
start building on top of each other, and I'm there with the directors and the board team. We're just kind of just watching on the outer edge of the room, and I think it wasn't until that moment you felt that energy. We're like, okay, these characters are like alive. Like before they were just words on papers. We're just like, okay, we gotta figure out this, but like, I think it was refreshing for us as artists just to see it in person, you know, before the pandemic and such. But it was really grateful to feel that.
I wonder if they're going to
experience.
shorten this episode because they spent so much time on
Sure,
episode
for
5.
you guys, yes, a table read is almost akin to a session without Matt. It's like a session without a DM, but then to see the storyboards, then to see the animatics, then to see it polished, then to see it on a platform. It's like just literally, like you said, they came
I
to
have to
life in
say,
front of your eyes.
not that I
Just-
like one over the
I don't
other
have a
for any
character in
reason,
the show, and
but
I'm
this
like,
group
that's the
is
coolest thing in the
way
world. So I can't even
calmer
imagine
than the last
how it
group.
must feel to have your child.
AKA mainly Sam.
Yeah.
But you get Sam,
Walking,
Matt, and
yeah.
Travis in a
For
room.
a second, I was convinced they were just going.
These
"Nope,
guys are
okay,
much
we're-
more chill and laid
we're
back.
out- We're out now.
Not that I like one over
It
the
is
other,
most
just pointing it out.
creatively thrilling and satisfying experience of my life.
Yeah.
Huh.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Involved as well.
large part of your life, sir.
Shout out everybody. If you know an animator or a writer or creative, go hug them. Go hug them right now.
That's kind of what
Tell
I
them
just said.
you're
This
doing a
is
good
being an
job.
artist. This is being a
Hydrate
creator.
and get some sleep.
Yes.
Are you hydrated and getting sleep?
One of those two, yes.
Sometimes.
Draw me a bear riding a horse, if you would.
Draw me a
If
bear
you could just
riding.
go home,
I-
draw me
I
a
want-
bear
yes,
riding a
please.
horse,
Drinking a beer.
drinking a beer in flowing water.
So, fun fact actually, Trinket the bear
Yes.
is actually in animation terms just a horse. Trinket is just a bigger, hairier, cuddlier horse because it still needs 4 legs to go around and do stuff.
Yeah.
I've got this. You
I-
take that back.
I am fully aware of like the
I don't understand.
love and hate relationship that the animators have with Trinket, right? Because you know how wonderful he is.
He is adorable.
He's adorable.
Trinket is
And
a
at the
guy.
same time, you just
I
hate his
see.
guts.
I was told by somebody Trinket was a girl, so I
He's
was like, oh, I
adorable.
apologize.
So there's
He's
that.
a great champion.
We haven't really tapped much into Trinket yet. We don't know much about
Sam's gonna get
anything.
Sungjin, I have another question for you. We spent a lot of time building up this reveal of Whitestone. Percy had this beautiful monologue about it. So how much work does it take to bring a location like this to life? And
We're
then
going to see more of that with art, maybe?
Fucking destroy it.
Yes.
Oh man, honestly,
That's an interesting question.
From like the directors and storytellers,
Because you got to show it from both points of view.
It wasn't that complex, but I think the true tragedy lies with the designers, because they're the ones that really put in the effort, the work to build up the.
You got to build this
world of
beautiful
Whitestone,
place and then burn
they,
it.
They have to design it all first, engineer, think about all the nooks and crannies, and then they pass it to us when we start doing the storytelling. So it's truly tragic for them too when they see it all.
I like they even showed the Briarwoods Chamber, the library. I like that. See, the fourth one's got a lot more wide going on.
Like very design
the other
heavy,
one's deeper though.
To take this whole world from the campaign that you guys already visualized and like to.
Doesn't matter. I have no option.
Make it
I have no
exist in front of
choice.
our eyes,
They don't
you know,
ask
so
me.
That's a feat in itself, essentially.
And there was also art, as we saw.
I know they've
in some
already
of the
showed
episodes,
these, but I
fully
don't care. I
formed
will stare at them
Whitestone,
forever.
Like pretty, not burned down Whitestone, which must be triply painful to then solely animate it burnt to a
Nipply
crisp.
painful.
Nipply.
Nipply painful.
They keep using the nipply word. Is there? Am I missing an inside joke somewhere? What's with this
Speaking of
nipply?
nipples,
Before they go nipple
that's a
punch the
horrible
like
segue.
button.
Here's the segue.
By the way,
What is
nipple
it?
punch
What's
my
the
like
question?
button
So Vex.
and subscribe 10 times
Yeah.
each.
I'll take it.
We see.
And I have nipples too.
That's true. That's true. You know what? Speaking of nipples, no. We see Vex take on kind of.
I don't think I've ever heard
leadership
nipples
role,
get talked about
a
more
lot of this
in one
episode.
show.
So how much of that is Vex as a character, and how much of that is Laura as a player?
I am not bossy in real life. I am pretty.
I just saw
Mika
Mika's shirt and it made me want to get
No.
Rakshasa shirt. Was that it? Rakshasa?
I don't think you were there this day, but in the big writer summit that we did at the beginning, there was a day when a question was posed like, "Is there a leader of Vox Machina?" And everyone was like, "No, no, no, no." And I said, "Well, there isn't a leader, but Vex was always made actionable, intelligent decisions and just drove things. So no one would call her the leader, and people would fuck off and do what they wanted anyway. But Laura is a very smart player, and Vex was just took the bull by the horns often. So I
So
had
not
said
a
that day that,
appointed leader.
There isn't a leader, that's true, but there almost is, and it's Vex.
I like it.
But I mean,
I claim
it looks
that.
like he's agreeing, but is he just saying that because it's her brother?
We just
Speaking
had good ideas, and good ideas are good ideas.
and Laura's good.
Thanks, Mika.
I don't think
you
anyone
doing
else
under
wants, like Percy, I think he's got enough shit going on he doesn't want to lead.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of leaders, we finally got to meet Archie, the leader of the
Archibald.
Resistance in Whitestone. But he's not
Mr.
quite the
Archibald
Archie that we or the
Cobblepot.
critters may remember from Campaign 1. So could you guys all talk us through the process of making Archie a childhood friend of Percy versus the former Chancellor for the Derulos?
I mean, a lot of it is just, and please chime in for this, is just when you're looking at the hundreds of hours in front of you that you have to condense. Yeah. The big thing, I don't want to say the easiest thing, but one of the ways you can really, really, really help yourself is you can take a character you like and then let them do a bunch of things that other characters
Yeah, combine it with other.
Yeah.
They can just kind of do everything.
Ooh,
That's Archibald.
Hey.
Hello.
Look at the mouth. The mouth is way different all the way to the right.
never.
No,
They're very similar. One's got no glove, one's got open
perfect
fingers,
And
different.
just adding to that,
vest
it really
armor
was about,
plating.
so we have all this time and we need to shrink it
Different
down.
color
and we need to go here
headbands.
for this, and we need them to be over here at this time.
I kind of
And
dig the look with the
I'm trying to remember,
beard.
but
There's
I
one
believe
up
it
there
was
with
just
a
more
beard.
conducive to have him be this kind of a
I'm a
figure
beard dude. I like
to make
beards,
sure that we could
especially
get
on
the team
barbarians. I said the same thing
in
with
the places
Grog.
we needed them to be, and it worked out for the best because he's such a great design. And
I feel like when
such
you're a
great-
rugged dude like
one of
that,
those,
you wouldn't be
charismatic
shaving.
presence
I
that,
in my mind, I feel like it's
people
more
would
realistic
follow.
to have a beard. You
Right.
think a dude like that's gonna stop to shave?
nailed it.
Grog, you think he's gonna stop to shave?
Nothing wrong
I
with
don't
that.
even have time to
How
shave.
about
Grog's gonna
a
shave.
question from the chat?
Let's do it.
Ready?
Right.
All right.
This is usually the
For
last
Sungjin and
one.
Taliesin.
All right, here we are.
Dynamic duo.
Couch Bros.
Couch Bros.
Couch bros.
So obviously Percy has a lot of
little
importance
cat
in the
here.
Briarwoods
Kitty.
arc. But what was the most fun or interesting Percy moment to see come to life in animation? And what was the most challenging to get right?
Ooh, I mean,
The
I'm
challenging
only
to
stick
get
to things
right.
that have happened because there are things that have not happened yet that I would definitely have words about.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, like clearly that, at least what we just recently saw, Percy and Stonefell, like that was, it wasn't really hard at all, but it was very exciting to do because that's technically like Percy's first revenge, you know, and we started
It
incorporating
was the first
like, his
name
relationship
off
with
the gun.
his gun, you know. So that was definitely a very big like
Super
for Percy
weird
and
supernatural
the
moment.
series.
You only
Names
get
on a
hinted in
gun
episode 3, and I
that
love what happens
disappear
in
when he
episode 3, and
kills
it's
him.
really just that kind of
Darkness
kind
and
of
smoke
creeps in
monster.
because it thinks it has a moment to get to the Briarwoods, and then by the time they're gone, it's just that temporary moment with Percy just yelling at everybody and then yelling at this poor kid and being awful.
Yeah.
But this
yeah.
is the first time it actually gets to eat.
Yeah,
so to
we
speak.
actually show it. Yeah, what all those breadcrumb trails were about. You know, because definitely teased it in episode 3, and people were like, I was like, what the fuck?
You could say that.
And
Your
they
soul
kinda
is
get
forfeit.
A semblance of where Percy's heading by episode 6. So.
I feel like in episode 3, Percy still has like plausible deniability.
Oh,
You know, it's like
that ain't going away.
You know, like he's a little angry. I guess.
So I feel like they
And then
kind of
in
just
this episode, it's
confirmed
like,
that this is kind of like
oh,
Percy's
Oh, he's little
arc,
fuck.
Briarwood's arc.
Little fuck.
He's not tracking this.
No, no.
He's not to put too much of a British on it, but it's very like just repress. Nah, don't think about it. We're fine.
Poor guy.
Everything's fine.
I can fix him.
I can fix it.
Mika is
It's
very
just so sad because
flirty
Percy,
with
at
Percy.
his core,
Not
you know,
him, Percy the
I
character.
mean, you think about is who he was before the Briarwoods, and he was just such a,
Kid?
you know,
Before the
little lad.
self-loathing.
yeah,
and,
before the self-loathing. It's,
Yeah.
But he was a child before the
A lot of
Briarwoods.
things have
You
happened
haven't
to
even
make him
gotten
the way
to
he is.
yourself yet.
yeah.
It feels so good to like a bad character.
Oh, just I love him so much, and he's such a mess.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's still such a.
I don't know if
integral
that guy
and
should have said that.
important part of the
He said,
story, and
I
feel
like
Vox Machina
liking a
wouldn't be the
bad
same
character, like
without
Percy's
him, and
evil.
he's
I mean,
changed them and they've changed him.
I still want to believe he's good
which
deep
says
down.
so much because of all that trauma. It's like but Percy deep down still, I don't know, loves everybody.
Yes, he does.
It's deep.
He's such a mess.
Percy at his core.
I guess
is
that's
still
basically
in
the
his
best way to put it. I think that's why
Oh.
Talson's trying to like be like, let's just put it that way. He's a mess. Don't spoil
Forgotten
things.
about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Aren't those the kind of characters that we just love so much that they're just so tortured, but they're so sweet?
Onesie pajamas.
In onesie pajamas specifically.
Yeah.
There's your next merch idea. Percy onesie pajamas.
Oh, with a butt flap.
With a butt flap.
Yeah, you gotta have the butt flap.
Yeah.
But like all of the buttons are little guns.
Oh, little bullets.
Little
Little
bullets. Yeah.
Cute.
Hard to twist.
Is there
saying
a
it's gonna
way to
happen.
make the butt flap look like the barrel of a shotgun opening?
Just sounds like
That would be quite
You know what? Let's
interesting.
Let's for later. Let's go for some more chat questions here. I apologize for that visual, everybody. This is a question for the cast.
A shotgun
In making
ass
the show,
flap.
Did any of the players learn something about campaign 1 that they didn't already know?
Good question.
Surprisingly well-built plot. I don't know. It's like, wow, this is surprisingly linear and makes sense. God, let me think.
That's like a really on the spot
I don't know if
question.
I like learned anything new about. There were a lot of moments that
I mean, it's not a
like,
bad
forgotten
question,
about.
but I feel like
Because after hundreds
that
of
makes
hours of
sense,
gameplay,
having
you know, you
forgotten
forget
things.
the little moments.
But
and
how
so
would
going back
you
to,
have learned
you know,
something? You
the
lived
start of
this
it
for
and looking at it again.
hundreds
Oh,
of
yeah,
hours.
we fucking said that.
You
know,
probably
I
went
felt
home
like maybe
nights
we'd forgotten
and thought about
it.
events
Things that were
for
really
days.
meaningful or, you know, great little moments between characters that like I just hadn't. It had kind of disappeared over time.
This one's pretty long,
It was great
too.
To see it again.
I'll say that the NPC perspective stuff was blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that's
a
something
good
you didn't
answer
know.
right
Yeah,
there.
that
Getting
is
to
a good
see.
My answer was the bad answer. Taliesin's answer was the good answer.
No, every
Your
answer is a
hero
good
wonder.
answer.
I thought her answer made
No,
sense.
Laura's always right. That was the bad answer.
See, he's
getting to
agreeing with
see
sister
the
again.
Briarwoods off on their
Biased.
own and what motivates them, and getting to see, and also getting to see Pike.
Ah,
and,
see,
like,
that's
this
interesting.
fleshed out,
But I feel like Matt
version
would have
of her
put you in
branching
touch with
story.
what they're up
Getting
to.
to see, what Matt had cooking in the back of his brain all that time.
Yeah.
See, I would
Because
thought
that's
that
what-
Matt would
that's so
fill you
cool,
in on
like,
those
while we're
aspects,
playing,
though,
to know
once
that
you
everything
arrive
that
at
we're
places.
doing,
I
Matt
guess not,
constantly
though.
has the world still turning, depending on
That
what
is
we're
a
doing.
good point.
And,
The world is running.
you know,
you don't know
so
everything.
Cool to get to see that.
He teases us with that all the time.
I
It's like,
know.
you'd only gotten there 2 days sooner.
Seriously, but seriously,
Yourself.
I think
If he does stuff like that,
How much is that
that
real or
is
how much is
awesome.
that Matt
That would
fiction?
make sense
I
why
don't
you would be
know. I
like,
think he
what
mixed
happened
things, I
with
guess.
this?
I think he has a giant clockwork system up in his house where he just slowly watches events happen. Like, well, too late for that. Click.
And it crosses it off the list.
He's
Yeah,
psyched us out.
I know he really does that.
He psyched us out at the table, though. Not
I've
much.
said
Like,
stuff like
"You
this.
approach
Is there
and
things that he
it's
would
like, I
want to
think
do that
Matt is also
sometimes
a little bit of a sleight of hand
he just
expert,
back
so I think
burners
sometimes
it
he's,
because he can't
falls by
for
the
their
nose.
situation?
Speaking of being pulled by the nose, this is a question for everyone. Why is it always doors?
Doors.
That because of the roles.
They're not.
It's the simplest thing. And I really do believe it's doors because the shame that comes from being defeated by something so stupid.
Yeah, like if you're in the middle of combat and you knock an arrow going and woof, and if you miss, you're like, ah,
all right,
oh, there's so
pull
much
another
going
one,
on.
yeah.
But if you're just like, I'm trying to get this door open, well, it won't open, and I'm just a dork.
Well, your luck picks broke. Well done.
But I feel
I'm
like
exhausted.
I feel like there's a
and
lot
heroically,
involved
like,
in going
my
through doors and
wits' end,
stuff
I
in the
just-
rolling
I
and
just-
game
But
itself.
it was
Can't
an
get it open.
ongoing thing. We always rolled really shittily when it came to like getting past.
That's
a
what I
doorway.
figured. Yeah.
And I think
Otherwise, it wouldn't
the-
be a factor.
Seeing it in animation.
If they didn't get shitty rolls on
or,
door
like,
openings and
Street
stuff,
Fighter
there
more,
wbe
'cause you've seen
an
such
event.
Cool, badass
It would just
action
be
sequences.
we walked in the
These
door.
characters overcome impossible things, and then boom.
But that's the nature
Yeah.
of the games around the table.
Right.
Yeah.
You
This
create
might be a
really epic
louder one.
moments in your
I hope this
life.
And then you
wasn't too
fall off
loud.
a roof.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Off a roof.
Or out a window.
Exactly.
Window.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
No
also
dignity.
really sad to see magic failing against doors. That's always painful. It's like, I want to light that door on fire. You can't. It's a door. Sucks.
You failed.
You
I
failed.
trained in the mystic arts.
It's a door.
If I recall, that actual door in the game, it took 3 spells to open.
No, it didn't.
No.
3 spells.
It took 3 spells plus.
Scanlan did get cut.
Yeah.
Lockpicks broke.
Because that was a really.
That was in the show, yeah, he got
did
cut.
shove
Time to find a window.
sword
A
through
blade
it,
in,
right?
yeah.
And then he had to hold it from the other side.
Oh, wow, you guys
Stupid.
really.
And
There
then
was
I
a
think once we
teleport
got in
spell.
and it was
See, so there's like more
It was such a-
eventful
it was Such a
things.
disaster.
Oh my
Oh no,
goodness.
because Scanlan in the game actually bamfed in
Yeah.
because he's like, I'll just go in and I'll
Burn
unlock it,
spell
but he
that.
went in and it was a beam, so it was too heavy because he's this little guy, so he couldn't lift it on his own. So then he
wasted
was
a
like,
spell.
It was just
Yes.
never-ending
It
stupid.
was so
Phenomenal.
It was
That's
so
actually pretty good. I
Listening
like
to
that.
Seed episode, just one whole episode of.
Of
Just
just
door.
trying to get through a door.
Yeah.
Doors campaign 1, chairs campaign 2.
That'll be a Christmas special.
Yeah.
Yeah. that'd be
Shares campaign too. I'm curious now. What is that? All right, guys. So that is the last one for this week. That is episode 6, the Q&A from Critical Role. And I was almost right. They said Sam and Marisha are definitely going to be in the next one. I thought it was going to be Matt Mercer because Marisha is his wife. And I thought they might have on another writer or something like that. Mark Bernardin was on a lot of the other things I watched earlier before the show started. And he, I believe, is one of the head writers or one of the writers involved in something with the show, and he was a fan of Critical Role, and he's a friend of theirs and everything else. So I started thinking that would make sense for him to be on because he already has a YouTube channel and does shows with Kevin Smith and stuff like that. So he'd be a guy that would be well versed in this kind of thing and probably be very comfortable. So I started thinking maybe that guy will show up. Maybe Mark Bernardin, you get Matt Mercer, and then you get Marisha and Ashley because Marisha's his wife. But nope. That's not the case. It says Marisha, Ashley, Travis, and Sam. So Travis and Sam are repeating. Ashley and Marissa get their first episode. And then I guess we get the final one. Maybe the final one, everyone will come on. Because the week after that, that's it. That'll be episodes 10, 11, 12. And then the show is on a break. They already renewed it for season 2, and we already know we're going to get more. But it might be a year. I mean, we got the first 12 episodes, 3 a week in 1 month. It was 1 month. It started January 28th, even though we got it the 27th because it was Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern time, my time. It'll be out tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thursday Eastern time, my time. So I'll have them all up as soon as possible. You guys know how I do it. But this was great. This one went a little longer too. Not as long as the last one, but great question asking in this one. I really liked the questions they asked. The very last question she asked, I thought was a bit of a specific on the spot kind of question to ask people. But then when they answered it, it actually did start making sense when I heard it from a different perspective. Because I'm thinking her last question was, did anything, I might be changing the words around, but it was something to the effect of, did anything from campaign 1 surprise you when translated to the animation or something to that effect? Or did you learn anything? That was what it was. Did you learn anything that you didn't know when you first watched campaign 1 or you first did campaign 1? Because they were in campaign 1, obviously. They didn't watch it, but I guess you kind of watched parts of it. Either way, I'm thinking, how would you miss anything? You're in it. You're doing it for 4 hours a week, hundreds of hours just in campaign 1 alone. You probably go home and think about this stuff for days. I said it in the episode, but I didn't elaborate on it. If I was in a 4-hour campaign, I would probably go home and think about it for days, maybe even the entire week until the minute I sat back in the chair and started going again for another 4 hours. I feel like when you're that passionate and that involved in something like this, like for instance, look how many Critical Role videos I do a week. I do that because I enjoy it and I'm actually trying to learn things, and it's nice to talk to you guys in the comments, stuff like that, but it's not like I'm like, I got to grind out another video. I go down rabbit holes. If you look earlier this week, I also went down like a Euphoria rabbit hole and I did a bunch of stuff for Euphoria. That's what I do with things. I get like obsessive, so to speak, and then I got to go down rabbit holes and I share it with people. That's the whole point of my channel, my reaction channel. I want to share it with you guys because you guys know a hell of a lot more than me. You guys could steer me in the right directions, not have me waste a whole lot of time, stuff like that. They made a good point that there are things Matt Mercer is thinking and doing that are going on behind the scenes. I've said this in other episodes, and I don't know if I've ever gotten an answer. Somebody might have commented this, but if not, you can now. I was under the impression that, all right, say Matt does a Dungeon Master thing and he has all these things set up. I was saying it with like the Sun Tree. Had they not approached the Sun Tree, isn't there a way that no matter what they do or say or what they want to do, that at some point Matt could just make them go to the Sun Tree? Like say they go, nope, we don't want to investigate the Sun Tree. And then you go, well, Sovereign Uriel came out and he said, you must go to the Sun Tree. I know it's not in the same realm here. I know we're in different areas, but I'm just saying like whoever, if somebody comes and goes, nope, we are the police and we are forcing you to the Sun Tree, I feel like Matt will do certain things to make you have to experience certain events that are monumental. So in this, they were saying, well, there's certain things that Matt wanted to do. And he's like, oh, if you were only there 2 days sooner, is that him just screwing with them and teasing them? Or was there really an event they possibly missed that could have been epic, but they chose a different path? I feel like if something was that epic, that I, or Matt in this case, should make them just have to venture back. Like I said, like have it be like, oh, you got arrested and now we got to go by the tree and oh my God, look at what's on the tree. Something like that. Either way, I don't want to make these too long, and the last 2 episodes were some of the longest of the Q&As. Episode 7, 8, and 9. 7 will be out first. All of them will be up on Patreon in full as soon as I watch them, but 7 will be edited before I watch 8 and 9 on Patreon. So we'll watch 7, edit it up, throw it on YouTube, and then I'll watch the rest. I'll also be doing other content. Maybe we'll have people like Day Art and Speckle Girl and all these other people start doing campaign side-by-side comparisons. I love doing those too right after the episodes. You guys let me know what you think. You want to see more of what I do, full unedited reactions, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, and hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link's in front. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.